It's Monday in South Carolina. Welcome to the Touchdowns podcast presented by Harrison Williamson Cross Country Mortgage. We are the Dugas brothers. He's Thomas. I am Beck. Welcome into another episode. It was a great weekend this past weekend in sports. USA Hockey wins on a golden goal in the men's gold medal game. But the women had won in a golden goal earlier in the week. A lot of excitement around the Olympics. But I think the main event was in Columbia, South Carolina, as the College Gameday crew traveled down to Columbia. And for the women's basketball game between South Carolina and Ole Miss, we were talking about it on our last episode. The party to be had at Touchdowns on Saturday evening to hype up the fans and families that were going to go see the game on Sunday. So we're going to kick this off with Thomas talking about the weekend, talking about the event, working with ESPN, and how that went, Thomas.
Yeah, it was awesome. I truthfully didn't know what to expect going into it. But when I got the call from ESPN, I just knew that I was going to do whatever it took to make it work. And I had a good feeling that if I did that, it would be worth our while. And it definitely was. The setup was awesome. For anyone that listens that was able to attend, thank you for coming out. Hope you enjoyed it. And for those that were unable to make it, I think we left a good impression, and hopefully it won't be the last time that we get to do something with ESPN, and maybe you guys can make it to the next event. But essentially, we took everything out from a furniture standpoint, and ESPN came in and just like redesigned the whole interior of the bar. They had a custom flag station where you could like essentially put your initials onto a College Gameday branded towel for the game the next morning. They set up like a little basketball goal that you could shoot on and win prizes. They had the ESPN desk set up so you could get a photo op there. The host came in. We were busy, so I didn't get to meet them or really talk to them, but it was just cool that, they were on site. They took a picture out front. I posted that on the Instagram. If anyone follows us there, if you don't, you should. We post clips there and updates about the bar all the time. The ESPN Gameday bus was parked out front all day. That was super cool. So yeah, just overall, it was a great experience for Touchdowns. I'm happy that we were able to host that event with ESPN. I think that our regulars had a good time. Hopefully we made a good first impression on new customers as well. And just very thankful to everybody at ESPN for thinking of us and giving us an opportunity.
Oh, yeah. That's what we like to hear. So would you say it was, so the event was 5 to 9. Was it pretty packed out? Was it a consistent crowd? Did people?
It ebbed and flowed. We were very, very busy by 6, and probably we were busiest from 6 to 7, and then there was a little bit of a lull, and then it picked back up towards the end of the event. The event ended at 9, and we were able to kind of transition out of it and just into being open to the public pretty seamlessly. ESPN, they're a pretty well-run organization, and they packed up pretty quickly, and we kind of seamlessly were able to shut the event down and keep going without having to actually stop at any point. So yeah, I think it was really well attended. From our end, sales were great. I think ESPN got what they wanted out of they took a bunch of pictures, took some video. I got to take a look at some of the pictures just now, and they turned out great. I'll be posting some of those on Instagram over the next few days and weeks. But yeah, just I think it was a great event, and I'm really happy that we were able to be a part of it.
And you made it to your first national TV appearance.
Yes,
the B-roll
we were
clip
on College Game Day the next morning. The storefront, crowd shot. So yes, first time touchdowns has been on ESPN or national TV, but hopefully not the last.
Yeah, man, you've really gone from local legend, with all your, all the news articles that were done on you from, your time at Cotton Gin with the marquee to now your time at touchdowns at your own place, and now national TV. It's only up from here. So sorry, my voice is. I played basketball today, and I swear I'm so out of shape that just like my lungs are tired. So I'm like hoarse from playing basketball. But that's awesome. And quick little tidbit I saw on the internet. I can't remember if it was Instagram or Twitter. Some chatter about bring back remember when Cotton Gin used to just post about recruits on the marquee. That wasn't really Cotton Gin's thing. That was a Thomas Dugas thing. So you don't need to remember Cotton Gin. You just need to follow touchdowns. The marquee is still up and running.
The post you're referencing was Old Row Gamecocks. I know it was on Instagram, and they were lamenting the fact that New Brooklyn Tavern has not carried on the tradition of using the marquee for Gamecock athletics. It feels good that, we left a legacy there, but like Beck said, we're not gone. We just moved down the street. I have a marquee at touchdowns. It is not quite, I'll be honest, it's not quite as cool as the Cotton Gin marquee, just because the laws have changed on signage since Cotton Gin was built. A lot of that, it's a historic landmark, and a lot of that stuff is grandfathered in. So because I built a new sign, I'm not able to build it in the same way that the Cotton Gin sign was built. But we do still participate in Gamecock recruiting, and the spirit of the Cotton Gin marquee lives on at touchdowns.
That's right. So remember that, Gamecock students and Gamecock fans that recall Thomas's work while he was managing the Cotton Gin in Gamecock recruiting. As the owner of Touchdowns, he's carrying that on. Just wanted to get that little tidbit in there. But awesome event for you, Thomas, and ESPN. And to compound that, the Lady Gamecocks, with an awesome performance, beat the hell out of Ole Miss. And it wasn't really even close. Kind of took control in the second quarter and didn't look back. And this is the kind of shit that I'm going to give the ladies their props. I'm not taking anything away from them. This is the kind of shit I wish we had in some of the men's sports. These ladies are killers. They just bury good team. Ole Miss is a good team, and you watch that game, and Ole Miss hung around for one quarter, and then we just buried them. And we are regular season SEC champs for the fifth year in a row. 4 of those were outright. Last year, we shared the title with Texas, but 5 years in a row, regular season SEC champs. Don just continues to retool, and I think there's a lot of chatter with the coach of the year in the SEC. I think Vanderbilt's coach is getting a lot of buzz for that award just from what Vanderbilt's been able to do. But even though we're a dominant program and you typically don't give those types of awards to coaches like Don who have built programs to the pinnacle, so you typically reward a coach who has brought a lower tier program to new heights. Typically, that's how those awards are voted. But Don's getting some buzz for Coach of the Year because this team, I mean, Chloe Kitts was going to be a leader and a starter on this team. She tears her ACL in the preseason. We battled injuries throughout our roster this whole year. Ashlyn Watkins' situation, she's not been available. So a lot of things we've had to deal with, but still we're reigning supreme in the SEC, and this team is going to be again fun to watch going into March. The SEC women's tournament is in Greenville again, like it has been for the last some odd years. I've been able to go to a couple games in past years, and probably will try and get to one this year if possible. So this is a fun team to watch. We have a fun play style, and it's going to be fun going into March. And seems like a crash course to the championship game with UConn. I know there's some other great teams out there like Texas, but some of those teams we've seen in the SEC and we've already beaten them. So really, really awesome stuff what Don and the Lady Gamecocks are doing, and we had a big spotlight on us on Sunday, and we absolutely answered the call in great fashion. 30-point win. That's, like I said, I wish we could have some stress-free wins in other sports like these girls do it. They're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so I obviously watched all of College Gameday Sunday morning just to see if and when we would make it on there. But I continued to watch even after they showed us. And part of what they spoke with Coach Staley about was how the team has responded from the losses that we've had this season. And Don's answer was essentially, it's not a big deal to a certain point if you're able to learn from it. And I think our most recent loss was to Oklahoma. Is that correct? I know we lost to Texas earlier in the season, but I think our last loss was to Oklahoma. And not taking anything away from Oklahoma, but Coach Staley kind of hinted at the fact that we lost that game because we were not where we should have been mentally dialed in. And so I think this dominant performance against Ole Miss is us, taking that mistake and growing from it as a team. And I expect us to continue to come out and handle business for the rest of the season going into the tournament. So, kudos to the ladies. They perform the way that you want your teams to perform. When you're the best team, you come out and dominate, and I love it for them. I hope that spreads to some of our other programs.
Absolutely. Cheers to Don. Cheers to the Lady Gamecocks. Cheers to touchdowns and ESPN as well. What an awesome weekend surrounding that game and our Lady Gamecock program. And then, the event with ESPN at the bar. Our men's team, some good news. We won a game. We put up 97 against Mississippi State. This is a team that I don't love watching. I don't love talking about, but I'll admit I didn't watch this game, and of course we won. So maybe I need to not watch, and we'll play better. But I can't comment too much on the game because, like I said, I didn't watch it, but we got the win, and I think anything that can anything like this, how we can salvage the year, just getting a little bit of momentum, stringing together a couple wins, because we've talked about it. What do we do with Lamont at the end of the year? We both seem to think, hey, let's just invest in him and see what he can do with some heavy investment. But you have to at least get people a little excited in order for them to invest. So I think hopefully we can string together some wins to end the season, maybe have a decent showing in the SEC tournament, just for people to have a decent taste in their mouth about the team going into the offseason. And you think, this roster is going to be completely retooled. I don't know the status of everyone, but I know Michi's going to be gone. Kobe Knox is a senior. There's some interest. Cam Scott is taking a red shirt this year. He was a highly rated guy, local kid, South Carolina kid that I was hoping was going to be a star for us. I.e. Sendarius, PJ Dozier, some of these guards that have been from South Carolina that obviously contributed to our Final Four run. So I just think a win's a win, and I'm happy we got one. And this team hopefully can keep putting together some decent performances. And I really think it's going to just be up to Donati to go out and say, all right, we're all in on men's basketball in Lamont for 2026, 2027, and let Lamont go, get some guys, flip this roster, and see if we can't go make the tournament. And if we don't, then you have to say, okay, no excuses. We just need to find a different guy to lead the program. But I think earlier in the year I was maybe saying, yeah, just let him go. Like this is pretty atrocious. But logistically, I do think the best path forward is trying to go all in and flipping the roster and seeing if we can make a run next year. And then decide to, if we can't get that done, you got to make a change. But I don't think making a change after this year is going to do the new coach any favors, and we're going to be starting from an even worse position. But that's just my 2 cents. But great to get a win. This past weekend, and a big game tomorrow night, which we'll talk about shortly after I hear your thoughts, T.
Yeah, so I do not want to fire Lamont. I don't think that paying a buyout and trying to pay a new coach and trying to raise more money for NIL is just in the budget right now. I would kind of like to see us maybe take the approach in basketball that you kind of attributed some of Indiana's success to, where they just have like an older, more experienced team. Like, I don't know that we're ever going to be able to year in, year out compete with programs that basketball is their main sport, or they just have enough money to spend on football and basketball simultaneously. So maybe instead of trying to get some big name guy in the portal that's going to command a lot of NIL money, we just try and build a roster the old-fashioned way by making good evaluations, getting guys that aren't that expensive but are willing to stay at South Carolina for 2, 3, 4 years and develop and that'll mean that we go through some growing pains every year or so when we're younger, but then you get the payoff, in year 3 when you have a team that's been together for a couple years. I don't know. I think that's kind of a more reasonable approach for us to take, specifically in men's basketball, than trying to find money that's not there to compete with Kentucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and that involves just letting Lamont stay and it can be his guys within his system and his vision for how to play. But as far as how we get the players, I think we should, take a Moneyball approach to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at this team and, Slushy Mike 2.0 is a senior. Miles Studi is a grad student. Michi's a senior. Kobe Knox is a senior. So that's 4 guys, 4 key guys that are not going to be on the roster next year. You're looking around and it's like, okay, Eli Ellis has played significant minutes. Hayden Assimian, Cam Scott, you're assuming is going to be back. Some of these other guys. But you're going to have to go out and retool and we just got to get behind Lamont, I think, and see what he can do next year and evaluate off of. But we also can't keep him and then not invest in him. That's just spelling the same thing. Like Donati has to make a decision. I mean, he might decide to fire him. I don't know. I don't know where Donati's head's at right now. I mean, he's starting to get criticism from fans because pretty much I know he didn't build them, but the downfall of all the men's programs coincides with him starting, as athletic director. I know Ray Tanner built the programs, but fans are starting to get they're calling him do nothing Donati on the Big Spur. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So
but
he's going to start feeling pressure.
I'm going to push back against that because he hasn't done nothing. We're undergoing a massive remodel at Williams-Brice Stadium right now.
Which is pissing a bunch of people off too, by the way.
Well, I'm sorry that your tickets are being affected or your seats are changed, but the fact of the matter was we were 13th out of 14 teams in luxury seating in the SEC prior to Oklahoma and Texas joining, which means that we're now 15th. The stadium needs upgrades. It needs to be modernized. That is the way of the future in terms of fundraising. And it's a massive project. I would not classify that as nothing. He hasn't fired anyone yet, but the buyouts are ridiculous. I mean,
yeah, thanks, Ray.
Paying Lamont $11.5 million or Maneri $3 million or both of those buyouts is dumb, in my opinion. So he kind of, I don't blame him for not pulling the trigger yet. There's people that probably want Shane fired. There is probably plenty of South Carolina fans that want to fire everybody except Don. And I get that to a certain extent. Let's see how Lamont finishes this season. Let's see how the baseball team finishes this season. I would prefer to see both of those buyouts come down before we make a move there. I'm confident that football will do enough this year to cool Beamer's seat down. And if it doesn't, I will jump on the side that wants him fired. If Beamer does not have a good year this year, he's lost me as well. So for all those people that want to fire everybody today, I'm just going to ask you to wait a little bit longer. And then I'll be on your side too, if it doesn't get better.
Please save us, Shane Beamer. Niche internet reference right there. Niche. But, yeah, please, seriously, save us, Shane Beamer. We need the football team to save us, literally. Can't write off baseball quite yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But want to give away some tickets, talking about supporting our men's basketball team. A great game against Kentucky tomorrow night in CLA, and some of the best games in CLA history have been against the Wildcats. I recall the Devin Downey game when we beat John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, those guys. Epic, just an epic performance. We've had a couple other court storms back in my college days against Kentucky. So always a fun time when Kentucky comes to Columbia. Big Blue Nation travels well for men's basketball for sure. So we want to get these seats, courtesy of Hughley Insurance, into the hands of some Gamecocks. And so we appreciate these fans that submitted themselves on our Instagram post. And now I'm going to the almighty wheel. Shout out to Haley Sanchez, who won our first ticket giveaway via the wheel. The wheel is the law. This is not anything that we have queued up. All right, let me share out my screen. Ross, get to the wheel. Can you see that, gentlemen? And we're going to spin.
Shout out Fantasy. Shout out Gus Baba John.
And it's Logan Wyndham. Logan, shout out to Logan. We will get you the tickets, Logan. That is awesome. Logan Wyndham, thank you. Thank you for joining. We will make sure to get those to Logan.
Thank you to Hughley Insurance as well.
Thank you to Hughley Insurance for the tickets. We will get them to Logan Wyndham. Winning. Wyndham is winning. Let's go. Shout out Logan. Have fun at the game tomorrow, Logan, and whoever you end up bringing. Hope y'all all have a great time. Speaking of niche internet references, I don't even know. You might not even know this one, Thomas, but some people might get this one on if they're on my side of the internet. But that Toronto chick talking about, you leave your moms in the hood, you make me sick to my stomach, fam. Like,
yeah, I know.
I felt sick to my stomach hearing this news about Jacarrius Peak. It appears the official statement, so the message boards were blowing up, and the social media warriors were definitely talks of doomsday with Jacarrius Peak, like he's never going to play football again. Beamer did come out and give an official statement. On Ross is in the chat. That's making me laugh. I'm trying to talk about a serious topic here, Ross. Jacarrius Peak has a lower leg injury. Official statement from Shane Beamer. Beamer says he's going to be good to go by the regular season. He'll miss spring ball. Even if he play, like, this still sucks, man. Like, I don't even know the official number. I'm sure we just gave this guy $1.5–2 million in the portal. He was the best tackle available in the portal. He was the number one position we needed to get in the portal, and we got, quote unquote, the best guy available. This guy was going to be an anchor to this offensive line, so I am really, really hoping that he is able to get healthy before the season. And I don't even I don't know if Beamer's going to be fully honest with what the injury is. This is a bad look. People are going to be pissed off because this happened at a team sanctioned basketball tournament. And I get it, team building, and I'm sure there's thousands of other programs that do stuff like this. So I don't know that it's really, I don't know if I really need to blame the fact that we're doing an event like this. Obviously the easy thing to do is, why would you be doing a 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the off season? Why would he be playing in it? All these things, but it's just unfortunate. And the off season of highs, we've gotten our first kick in the dick with this news. So talk about it, Thomas. What do you think? Are we in the, do you blame the team? What are your thoughts overall on the whole entire situation with Jacarrius Peak?
Yeah, so this news kind of dropped right when I was in the thick of things this weekend with College Gameday. Touchdowns had a great weekend. We were slammed Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm kind of a little bit more outside of the loop on news like this than I would typically be. I didn't see a lot of the online discourse when the news dropped. I'm sure that people were killing Beamer for the injury happening at a team event, but here's my thoughts on that. Let's say that he didn't play in this team event and he didn't get hurt, and he got hurt in spring practice or hurt in fall camp or hurt week 2 of next season. At the end of the day, if our O-line doesn't play better and we don't win more games next year, Beamer's done. And if he wants to have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for team building, and that leads to one of our best players getting hurt and that costs him his job, then he went out on his own terms. I'm not going to tell him how to run his program. I'm just going to, we need to win. I don't care how he does it versus obviously he's a lot closer to Dabo than he is to Cignetti. And a lot of people are going to use that as a dig on him who are not Clemson fans. I think Clemson fans try to use it to patronize us. They try and say that he's copying Dabo. But at the end of the day, I care about if we win games or not. It's certainly concerning. I hope that Peak is ready to go by week 1. But there is plenty of time for him to be ready. One of the reasons that Muschamp used to have spring practice in the spring game when he did, when he was running our program, is because if someone got hurt in spring, there was hypothetically enough time for them to still rehab it and be available the following season. So with him getting hurt right now, he should spend now until next season getting healthy again. And that will, I guess, ensure that he doesn't get hurt again. But I don't know. What are my thoughts on whether or not he should have been playing? Yeah, in hindsight, it's easy to say he shouldn't have been. But I'm not gonna not drive to work because I could get in a car accident. At a certain point, these guys just have to live their lives and don't be reckless. Don't don't go rollerblading with your laces undone the Friday night before a game. But it's February, so like injuries like this kind of just happen by chance sometimes, and hopefully Pete can recover for next season. But I don't think it's time to give up on the season yet. Let's see if he can play. Let's see if we win. Again, if the basketball tournament had never happened and Peak was never injured and we won 5 games next year, we're still going to want to fire Beamer. Like, it's all like, it doesn't, all that matters is how many games we win next year. If this becomes more of a problem than it currently is, that is going to make winning games more difficult. But I guess that's all I have to say about that.
I mean, could someone go sage or put some holy water in the offensive line room? Because not only has this room been underperforming during the Beamer tenure, we can't stay healthy. Like, we have injuries every single year along the offensive line. And that was one of the things we talked about when the mass exodus happened, was depth. It's a worry because of depth. But I don't know what it is, man. But this room, not only, like I said, has underperformed, but we have freak injuries happen, and guys that are constant, like, they get healthy and then they get re-injured, and this was just really shitty news. And they have not released any information on the severity of the injury. I assume Beamer is going to keep that tight-lipped. I don't really like how he's handled some of the injury reports in the past, and he's not transparent, which it's gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't want to show his hand, especially during injuries, during the season. But I don't think we're going to get any. This is going to be a topic. I mean, it's going to come up in spring. It's going to come up at SEC Media Days in July. And I just don't know that we're going to really get any valuable information from Shane Beamer.
We won't hear anything about it until it's definitive.
We're going to find out against Kent State. If he trots onto the field.
If his recovery is way ahead of schedule and he's healthy for fall camp, we'll hear about it then. But it doesn't matter what we hear between now and then. If he's not the starting left tackle week 1, that's all that we need to know about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and what's today? It's February 20th, so March, April, May, June, July, August. I mean, 6. If it's an ACL, you can maybe write off the season. I mean, I know guys have recovered from ACLs, but not 340-pound guys. Like, there's been some – in today's day and age, ACLs used to be a year timetable back in the day. Today's day and age, it's quicker recovery.
Didn't Micah Parsons come back from an ACL in 12 weeks this year? How long was it? What was his injury? Because he got hurt. He got hurt early in the year, and he played in the playoffs.
I mean, I don't know. There's been some. I don't think he played in the playoffs, did he? I was drunk in Tampa when we were watching that game, so there's a good chance I could have missed it. But I don't think he played against the Bears.
I don't know. Regardless of what the injury is, I don't think it's impossible to expect for him to play next year. I mean, if it is. I mean,
there's been stories of guys tearing ACL in spring ball and then playing in the fall in college football. But again, those were I think these stories were mainly from skill guys. not offensive linemen. So
I mean,
the moral of the
shit.
story, this was
Ideally,
a terrible development.
Realistically, he could. I think we can win our first 3 games without him. So that gives him an extra month. Like if he's ready to play week 4 at Alabama, that's when we need him to be ready to play. I don't think that's an impossible timeline.
Well, and if we're looking for a silver lining, this is going to give a chance to another guy to take first team reps in spring ball, and that doesn't really make me feel any better, but but yeah, terrible news about Jacarrius Peak. Again, we are very hopeful that he is going to be full go by the fall. I guess we will have to wait until the fall to find that out, because I don't think we're going to get much from Beamer over the next spring and summer related to that injury. So, in other news on the football team, we've replaced Joe DeCamillis at our special teams coordinator. Matthew Smiley will be taking the role. I heard and read that he was interviewing for a couple NFL gigs as well, but once he got the offer from us, kind of shut that process down. I think this has kind of been Beamer's MO at special teams coordinator, hiring guys with some NFL and college experience. Joe DeCamillis fit that profile. Pete Limbo fit that profile. So we've talked about this position, Thomas. Beamer's a special teams guy. And so I don't know that any particular hire was really going to sway our special teams in any different direction, but it's good to have him on staff. It was a quick turnaround, and he can hit the ground running. And again, hopefully, fresh set of eyeballs in the room. And I love our special teams, and I hope we continue to be good in special teams under Matthew Smiley. But I think the biggest thing was it happened quickly, and we're gonna, Coach Smiley's gonna be on board for the entirety of spring and summer, and this didn't just drag on and become a distraction. It was handled quickly, and so I'm excited for Coach Smiley and wish him success.
Yes, I mean, my thoughts on the whole situation when we lost the special teams coach originally is just that I believe it's more of a mindset that Beamer has. Like, it's the attention that we devote extra periods in practice to special teams because of how Beamer values it within the program and how we want to attack as a team. So, the only discourse I really saw about the hire is people like making fun of Beamer being obsessed with NFL coaches, but Coach Smiley has college experience as well. So I just, I think people are nitpicking. I don't think we should expect any substantial drop off in special teams play next season. I'm excited to see what Coach Smiley can bring. Like you said, fresh eyes. So yeah, I'm glad that the search is over and we know who our staff is going into next year. And I look forward to watching Vicari house some punts and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of cheering for punt returns. Not like the Kai Kroger days when we were sometimes Kai Kroger. I will. He damn near won us the game against Clemson in 2022, but it's not a good sign when you're cheering when your punter comes out and he's one of your best players in said game.
We love Kai Kroger. He was a Cotton Gin Spotlight recipient.
That's right. Let's talk to put a wrap on that football news, and we're going to jump over to baseball. Baseball team went 2-1 in the Salute the Troops tournament. We got smoked by Army on Friday night. That had some people in a tiff. Good bounce back to beat Navy and Air Force to close out the weekend. This team, again, we're not going to really know anything until this upcoming weekend. I don't like the fact that we lost to Northern Kentucky. I don't like the fact that Army smoked us. I think that was Army's first win against a Power 4 program in like 4 years or 3 years. So that's never a good look, but cool. The Salute the Troops tournament. It's a cool concept, and we went 2-1, and we'll have a midweek this week, and I can't recall who we're playing this week. It is Queens. So we'll play Queens on Wednesday. A little tune-up for the big Palmetto Showdown with Clemson. Clemson is a consensus top 20 team in the country. I think in baseball there's a ton of polls. I think in probably the most popular one, they're ranked number 15. So this is a big opportunity. Not only is it a rivalry series, obviously, but Clemson's a good team. If we can win this series, maybe fans like myself will take this team a little bit more serious going into SEC play. It's going to be a test, and we haven't looked great to start. I know we've gotten some nice wins under our belt, but we're going to learn a lot this weekend. I will be there with you, Thomas and Ross, and our sponsor, Harrison Williamson. So we'll be out at the ballpark on Saturday at Segra. There in Columbia for anyone who listens and is going to the game. If you recognize us, come up and buy me a beer. Just kidding, but come up and say hey. And look forward to seeing people out there at Segra. I think it's going to be nice weather, and if you're going to the game, you should go to Touchdowns for lunch prior to going over to the park, or celebrate the victory Saturday night down at Touchdowns. But looking forward to the series versus Clemson. And again, I can't really dive into the baseball team until I see the results of this series against Clemson. Depending on how this series goes, I'm going to really get invested into baseball and maybe have some, start building up some expectations in my head that we can compete in the SEC. If it goes sideways this weekend, it's going to be hard to get into it, especially if we start to struggle in SEC play. So always fun. I'm interested to see how Columbia does it. Being a Greenvillian, this event in Greenville is always done right, and it's always a phenomenal Saturday in Greenville. It's a lot of fun. So curious to see how Columbia does it. As much as I love Greenville, I am the creator of #Cola Rising, so always support anything good happening in Cola. So
I pretty much exclusively listen to 107.5 The Game. Shout out 107.5 The Game in Columbia on the radio when I'm driving around Columbia during the day. And something that they were talking about today that I found interesting. Apparently, our catcher is given a lot more control over calling pitches than is common in college baseball. It's not unheard of, but apparently we let our catcher call a lot more pitches than maybe we've had catchers calling in years past. The coaches still do have the right to put pitches in, but for the most part, if they like how things are going, they let our catcher call the pitches. And the hosts on 107.5 The Game were just kind of speaking to how that may lead to like the pitchers being able to really kind of settle into a rhythm because they develop a rapport with the catcher. It's not like that the coaches are just kind of calling the pitches in and the pitcher and the catcher are executing. It's more of a symbiotic relationship where the catcher has the feel for the game as well. That's something I get. If things go well against Clemson, or if things start to go well in SEC play, that's just something to be aware of and monitor, because that could be something that gives us an edge. Because in today's day and age where the SEC is so good and there's so much talent, what makes us different, what gives us a competitive edge, that is something that we are apparently doing that is potentially where we could squeak out some wins. Just thought it was interesting when I heard it. Shout out 107.5 for
love the insights. Shout out to 107.5. Yeah, I don't get any of that good radio up here in Greenville.
You don't get the roar?
But yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. I blocked Mark Ryan like 3 years ago. I didn't even realize he got ran out of the upstate.
I forgot about that guy. What a loser.
Yeah. Troll. But Mark, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Again, if you're out at Segra Park on Saturday afternoon, and you listen or watch the show, please come up and let us know. We'd love to mingle and talk Gamecock sports with anyone out there, and hopefully see a win from the Gamecock baseball team. So just a reminder to those listening, they'll play at Founders Park on Friday night. Then they'll play at Segra Park Saturday afternoon, and then they go up to Doug Kinsmore in Clemson for the Sunday third game. So go Gamecock baseball. Let's get us a win. Let's get us some Gamecock calories. We need them, especially after
Trademark.
this Jacarrius Peak news in football. But the women's basketball team and men's basketball team giving us a little bit of energy boost in Gamecock calories this past weekend. Great event with ESPN at Touchdowns. Hopefully more to come with that. And yeah, this was a fun episode. Please go over to YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you watch or listen. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok for clips, comments, anything like that. Interact with us. Give us ideas. What do you want us to talk about? Again, we try and keep up with the news cycle, things that are going on that we can give our opinions on, but also hope to create some fun content for some episodes this spring and summer. So keep watching, keep listening. Please hit the subscribe button on whatever platform of your choosing. And we appreciate everyone who watches and listens. That's going to be a wrap on this episode. As always, go Cox.
Go Cox.